Welcome back. Chico and the Grin, episode number 27.
27.
And I'm half your host, Chico, and I'm here with...
The Grin.
And we're back for another episode. Thank you so much for joining us. We just finished moving a couch and eating a ton of chicken.
And taking a door off the hinges.
And taking a goddamn door off the hinges. How do you move a couch in New York City? You pull the goddamn door out of the hinges, and you push that bitch right out.
That was madness.
That was pretty funny. We almost couldn't get the door back on.
Yeah. That was a pain in the ass.
I don't know how you did that by yourself last time. It took two of us, and we were confused.
Yeah, I don't know what I did last time. It was about 3 years ago now.
But luckily, we were able to put it on the right way.
Yeah.
We may or may not have scratched the linoleum floors in your hallway.
And yeah.
Well, and now we're sitting in your studio, and there's no couch.
No couch.
We just finished eating about a pound of chicken.
Sparks looks all lost now.
Yep, she has no idea what to do with herself. Cat's just roaming around like where to go.
Where am I supposed to sit?
Just fucking.
When I'm going to scratch up.
You have a scratching post now, Cat. Go scratch that.
She's like, where's the couch?
We had to make room for Grin's new couch.
Yeah, man.
He's moving on up. Got himself a West Elm couch.
Oh, yeah.
That's some big boy stuff. I don't even got a West Elm couch.
Big money.
I don't got West Elm money. I got
Sheesh.
Bob's discount furniture money.
I had that, yeah. Well, that's what happens when, you're in a relationship.
You got two incomes.
2 incomes, no kids.
2 incomes, no kids, one
Yeah,
cat. You get
yeah.
West Elm furniture.
They call it DINK, by the way.
What?
Double income, no kids.
They call it dink?
DINK, yeah. So
I'm also a dink then.
I learned that on a tour of New York a while ago with my family. But we were on one of those bus tours, and they were like, "Yeah, this is a DINK community, like a neighborhood." And they were like, "Yeah, because most people over here are like double income, no kids." I think we were somewhere on the east side.
They should make that a thing. If you move into this community, you can't have kids.
Well, there's communities where it's like in Arizona, I believe, they got a community where you can't be of a certain age. It's like an elderly community, but the whole city's like that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That community must suck.
It's not a huge city. I guess like a town or some shit within a city.
Township?
But yeah, it's like everybody drives around on golf carts and stuff.
What
And
the
you can't be
fuck?
a resident unless you're of a certain age. I guess retirement age, but it's the whole area.
That's wild.
It was in Arizona.
They do that shit because you don't need a license to drive a golf cart. So you could have glaucoma driving around in your fucking golf cart.
It's better for them, I guess. Yeah.
Shit, like old people. Shit. All right. Well, like I said, thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. We're on episode number 27, and I was just talking with my partner over here, and we were talking about the fact that we've almost been doing this for a whole year.
Yep.
27 episodes,
Boom.
1 episode every other Thursday.
Yep.
Usually released on a Monday, so about 2 episodes a month.
Yep.
Going strong. I think we maybe missed in total 2 episodes were off schedule for various reasons, but
Yeah. Whether it be like a Bell promotion or just
life.
Yeah. Because I know 2 times we didn't record because of the Bell promotion.
Right.
I know that for sure. And then, the rest of it was just like if we skip out, it's because of life.
Something going on.
Shit.
Yeah. Well, I think we're doing pretty good so far. Don't know how many of you guys are actually out there listening, but we appreciate every ear that is out there listening. And we're going to keep doing it because it's a good creative exercise and a way to kind of flex our brains. And we were just talking about all the different things that we realize that we do better now because we've been doing the podcast.
Definitely.
You were mentioning that you're more up to date on the news and you do more research on current events and you're just more in the know than normal.
Even like books that I'm reading, I've always read like nonfiction.
Right.
In historical books. But even now I'm more analytical in the information I take in. Mm-hmm. News articles I'm reading, I'm always checking the sources. I'm always fact checking stuff. Even the far-fetched stuff, I'm like, let me look into this a little bit. Now, I like that because I feel like if I'm going to speak about something on a podcast, I want to know that it's some actual stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Like sometimes I might leave out names or dates, but doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
And if I did the research and I find out like, okay, this happened, you don't believe me? Go look it up yourself because I did.
Absolutely. So I realized that because of doing the podcast, I've become not only, I try to be a very technical person. I've really gotten into sound engineering and audio engineering and making sure that the quality that we're putting out is top notch.
Yeah.
And I don't know, for me, that's probably the biggest thing. Also, my public speaking. At my job, I've hosted a couple of events.
Everybody.
Exactly. My radio voice. Thank you for joining us back on KTU, soft rock station. No, And people have remarked
Quiet storm.
people have remarked that my public speaking is very good. And, of course, my public speaking was really formed when I was a kid, being forced to talk to a bunch of people about God.
Jesus.
Yeah, speaking to a crowd of maybe 200-300 people.
Hallelujah.
Every Sunday, having to read from the Bible. I learned not to stutter over my words when speaking.
Jam.
But when I'm at work and I'm like hosting an event for a new vendor, a new brand, I'm like, well, welcome to B&H. We have a new brand here, and we are going to be discussing blah, 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 blah. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. Good night. And, I call that my radio voice. And I also have my radio smile when people are saying, I'm like, hey, how you doing? Welcome to B&H. How can I help you? And now you all know where I work, because I don't think I've ever mentioned where I work until just now. Whoopsie. But, yes.
I don't talk about the day job.
I try not to, but it slips in every once in a while.
But you got a cool day job, that's why.
Yeah, maybe we can beep them out. I don't know. Do you know how to do beeps in post?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so we'll go back and we'll figure that out.
I think it's either generate, a chirp, a noise, a silence, a tone.
Okay, cool. That's good to know. I'll remind you.
Just put it on another layer.
Yep. I'll make sure let you know so you can beep out where my workplace is. But anyways, we'll go on. I want to talk. I know you wanted to talk about the immigrants, but I wanted to get your
don't forget the 1P.
And the 1P. Yep, we did have a little change in programming. I don't know if anybody out there noticed, but I think you'll enjoy it. But before we touch on 1P, I wanted to ask if you saw the news about Cody Wilson and the lawsuit that he won with the 3D printed guns.
Oh, yeah.
So for those who don't know, Cody Wilson is
big deal.
He's a big libertarian. He's a kind of an anarchist, but not really. But he got his claim to fame because he was the first person to create a 3D printed gun that is not detectable via metal detectors. And he wanted to release the 3D printing CAD design for everybody to download for free so that everybody who has a 3D printer can print a 3D printed gun.
Well, they are online.
They are online, but technically he got in trouble for doing that. And the whole stink is that if you're 3D printing a gun, technically by the laws that are in place now, which do not account for 3D printed guns, you have to have a license in order to create a firearm. However, because it's being printed on a 3D printer, it's not technically considered a firearm. So they tried to stop him. He sued, and the court just determined that he won. So now he can 3D print, and I believe he was in the process, or he may have already perfected 3D printing a lower receiver for an AR-15. So now you can actually build an upper out of aluminum and then build a 3D printed lower receiver, and you pretty much have a homemade AR-15.
I remember there was...
the Vice episode?
No. There was an article in Wire magazine where they talked about... It was 3D printing guns, and then they talked about the guy who got arrested for... wasn't Pirate Bay. He didn't even do anything. He just hosted the website.
The mega upload guy, Kim.
No. But it was around that time.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
No, you know who it was? It was the guy who did. He had a site on a black web that was selling stuff, and he didn't know what they were selling.
Not the Silk Road.
Silk Road.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
It was about that guy. It was him, and then they had the guy with the 3D printing guns, and they did a whole article on just like finding stuff online.
Yeah.
You know, and they were like, well, it's there on the dark web, but the only problem is you don't know where you're getting this stuff from.
Exactly.
So it could be traced or whatever.
You don't know how reputable it is.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I found it interesting because they're making a lot of assumptions and comparisons to making your own weapons. So technically, as the way I understand it, and I can be wrong, technically you are allowed to build your own rifle or handgun in the United States. Okay. It does not have to have a serial number. And for those who think you have to register every gun you own, that is not true. You do not have to register your weapons in certain states. In New York City, you have to, but generally speaking, throughout the state, if you buy a weapon, you don't have to register it. The only quote-unquote registration that occurs is when you have a background check run on you through the FBI NICS system. So that at least the FBI knows you just had a background check run on you for purchasing a gun. They don't necessarily know what gun you purchased. They'd have to go through the actual vendor to do that. But in this case, like you can purchase lower receivers that are not milled, so they're just like blocks of aluminum, and you can take them to a place, or if you have the machinery, you can mill it out, and there's instructions on how to do it, and you can mill out your own lower aluminum receiver. You can go and purchase an upper for a rifle, which is not considered a firearm because it doesn't have a firearm serial number on it, and you can buy that almost anywhere, connect the two, and now you have a working rifle.
It's like a blacksmith.
Yeah, essentially. And the trick is that when you buy these lower receivers that are not milled, that are still blocks of aluminum, they don't have serial numbers. So they are completely untraceable. And people, this has been the case legally forever, as far as I know.
But
And
people just don't go through the effort of making them.
right, but now, right, because it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I mean, some people do it. I'm sure there are enthusiasts
It's like
out there.
making a car. You can make a car.
Make a car, absolutely. But I think a lot of people didn't realize that was possible until Cody came out with this 3D printed thing, and he cited that. And there's, I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, Vice did a video on him. Vice also did a whole video on when that senator was like untraceable ghost guns, bullets that fire 10,000 rounds a second. Video was online. They looked into that, and it is. I will admit it's a little weird knowing that people can go out there and just build their own guns. But if you, in my opinion, if you can go and build your own gun, if you got that kind of time and you got that kind of effort, and
wasn't it?
That's what you do. Why not?
Not Clear and Present Danger. It was a Clint Eastwood movie where he was a Secret Service agent and the guy was going to kill the president. And he made that gun out of silicone.
Yeah.
He was shooting at ducks, and the guy was like, "This is cool."
Well, do you remember
that whole scene?
Yeah, remember Die Hard 2? Do you know what a Glock what was it? A Glock 10 or 11 was?
Porcelain.
It doesn't go off.
Yeah.
Apparently, that was a real design that Glock was trying to do. They just couldn't make it work. But now you have Cody with the 3D printed guns, and the only metal that's in the gun is the actual bullet.
Yeah, because that was the thing with Glocks when they first came out. It was like an untraceable gun.
Nah, not really. They're just. I think
that's what they always say.
I think people. That's what they say.
Yeah.
I think people just say that because it looked so different when it first came out that people are like, "What the fuck is this?" But it's. I mean, all the Glocks are serialized. They're all just like regular firearms. If you turn your Glock upside down and you look underneath the barrel, that's where your cell number will be.
But it can go through metal detectors and everything.
Yeah, it'll beep if you go through it. It's made out of metal. It's it's not anything special. But I just wanted to touch on that because we talk about guns and we talk about stuff like that, and I think it's imperative that to be honest, I don't really know how I feel about the whole 3D printed gun thing. I think it's cool, but I don't know if that's a good thing because I think of all the applications of what it could lead up to. I think of all the good stuff and all the bad stuff.
It's too late.
Yeah, no, it's definitely too late. It's out there. Once it's out there, it's out there. So, I mean, but what I think it scares, I think I kind of take enjoyment in the fact that it scares so many, like, super liberal people. Like, oh, my God. I'm like, that's right. Now you could be in the grocery store and somebody could have a 3D printed gun in their purse, and you'd never know. And like nobody with a metal detector would ever know.
Whether they have a 3D printed gun or a real gun, it's like, if you let your guard down like that, that's on you. Yeah. I look at everybody. I'm like, everybody's a threat.
I'm waiting to see.
Don't underestimate anybody.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be weird to hear me say this, but I think it's going to be interesting to see when... like if the first 3D printed gun makes it through like a school metal detector and it's used to like shoot a student,
Probably.
That's probably going to happen relatively soon if I had to guess. Okay, so that's enough about guns. Let's talk about the migrant situation. I know that we've been going back and forth recently this past week on WhatsApp in our conversations, and you have some pretty interesting ideas on the child separation thing that's going on because it doesn't seem like it's making sense to you.
It doesn't make sense. Everybody's complaining about the amount of illegal immigrants that are in the country, right?
Yep.
That's clear. Oh, there's tons of illegal immigrants. They're bringing drugs and crime and rape and all this bullshit, right?
Right.
Fine. There's a lot of illegal immigrants. You want to get them out. Fine. You want to get them out, right? You don't want them here.
Yeah.
So why are they kicking out the parents and keeping the children?
Yep.
If the children are illegal as well, how come you're keeping them in a system, locked up like animals? Or if you're not locking them up, fine. Not all of them are locked up. You're shipping them around places, around the United States, right? To group homes, detention centers, foster care, right? Because this is what they're doing without a trace. A lot of these kids are gone.
Right. Apparently they said, I think the last count was 40% of the kids would never be reunited with their family.
I was like, they're gone. What is the purpose of that? Because I'm trying to find it out. And I'm like, what is the purpose of separating somebody from their parent, kicking out the parent, keeping the kid? Because you're going to hate the kid either way. The kid's still illegal unless you're just going to keep the kid and give him free citizenship. Right. If you're going to do that, then that's fucking ass backwards.
Yeah, might as well give both of them free citizenship at that point.
Don't they have the kids the DACA kids who's supposed to be able to be here for a certain amount of time and not get kicked out?
Yeah.
They're kicking them out too. So it's like it doesn't make sense.
So what do you think is going on?
I don't know. I just know it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
And it's like, I'm not trying to make a conspiracy out of something. I'm just like, it doesn't make sense. You're complaining about immigrants, but you're kicking out the parents and keeping children who are still immigrants. They still have the immigrant status. So it's not like they're giving them a citizenship. So what is the point of that?
That's a good question.
Like, it doesn't make sense.
There's a lot of weird things that are going on, and I know we're not trying to turn this into a conspiracy or anything, but it is very strange that the kids are being kept, the parents are being sent back. Why not just send both of them back? Why? What's the whole idea of separating the parents of the kids is very strange to me.
Something is going on because that makes no sense.
Do you think it has anything to go on with the pedophile stuff that's going on in this country?
I don't know.
You think it has anything to do with the Catholic Church and the pedophile stuff that's going on? Do you think the United States might be feeding the Catholic Church children? No. Not putting words in your mouth. I'm just throwing some ideas out there.
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I think the corruption with the Catholic Church and pedophilia, or governors and politicians and pedophilia, that's something else.
You think that's something apart?
I just think that's something else in it entirely. You know, it's right now we're dealing with a lot of stuff in the United States. A lot of stuff is being blown up. Sorry, that's a wrong choice of words. A lot of stuff is just coming out, right?
Being blown up.
And it just doesn't make sense how this is still happening. Now, I was reading one article that says like people are profiting from children being locked up, you know, and I get that. Companies are making money off this stuff, right? They're running the facilities, they're supplying the facilities, they're supplying the transportation.
Wherever there's money
food,
to be made, it will be made. Yeah.
They're making money from government contracts off this situation. Mm-hmm. But it still doesn't explain why these kids, okay, even if you keep the kids locked up in detention, right? That's one thing.
Yep.
But there's a group of kids not being locked up in detention. They're being sent to group homes. They're being sent to foster care. They're being sent to detention centers. They're being pushed further into the system.
Absolutely.
And they're still immigrants. So I'm like, why don't you just push them all out? Why are you being selective? I don't get it.
It's very strange.
Now the pedophile thing, that's a whole nother fucking fucked up issue. You know, that pisses me off every day.
And I'm actually just looking for another link. I'm pretty sure I sent you guys 3 links.
There was the one with the nun.
Yep, there's the one with the nun. There was one with
babies and shit.
Trump's campaign manager.
From Oklahoma. Oklahoma, right?
And then there was another one I thought I saw about a priest, but I don't remember if I sent that to you guys.
You know about that show on Netflix, the documentary?
Which
I think
one?
it's called Sleepers. I could be wrong.
Maybe.
I saw the trailer. It's about this nun goes missing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think they found her body like years later. No, I don't know if they found her body. Or maybe they did find her body. But she goes missing.
Oh, yeah,
and then they
I know.
uncover the case, and it's like...
Yeah, I remember. It's really fucked up.
The church
is hiding it.
The police and the...
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. I remember
molesting and raping children.
I remember watching it. I remember watching
it,
and it really freaked me out. Especially that scene where they take her to the attic and you see the nun habit.
I did not watch it.
You didn't watch it? You didn't watch it?
I tried watching the first one. I was like, I'm not ready for that.
Oh, it's so fucked up. It's like, I know. It's like 6 episodes.
That's so like,
oh, it gets really creepy. That's not even the worst. What you saw? You just watch episode 1?
Barely.
Oh, you got to go watch.
I saw the trailer and I was like, let me start this.
I remember sister. She had an interesting name. I forget her name, but I know exactly what you're talking about. And that shit fucked me up. That shit was scary, and it was old. It's from the 60s, and some of the people that were involved in it. Some are dead. Some don't want to talk about it. You know, it's just fucking creepy.
It's horrific.
It's creepy. It's definitely, I recommend people go read that or go watch that documentary because it's very interesting. But man, that shit is fucked. Give me I just had the fucking article up and I don't know where. Here we go. All right. So I want to talk about this article. It's from Fox News. So take it with a grain of salt. But it was published 4 days ago. It's written by Holly McKay. Nun at charity founded by Mother Teresa arrested, accused of trafficking babies. A nun and one other employee serving at a missionary of charity center in India, founded by Mother Teresa, has been arrested and accused of child trafficking. Acting on a series of complaints, the Indian Child Welfare Committee affirmed that they are in the process of investigating the sale of newborn baby boy from Nimrul Hriday Pure Hearts home to a couple in Uttar Pradesh for 120,000 rupees, around $1,700 US. The baby was reported to have been born at the charity on March 19th and sold the black market to the couple on May 14th.
Disgusting.
Yeah. The nun at the center of the scandal, publicly identified only as Concelia, was detained on July 4th. Concelia? Was detained on July 4th, and the following day was placed under judicial custody by the court. Another employee from the center, set up by the late Mother Teresa, who was canonized as Saint Teresa in 2016, was also arrested in connection to alleged trafficking cases. The charity expressed shock over the allegation. The comment, they talk about Mother Teresa a little bit, died in 97, established the missionary of charity in 1950, 3,000 nuns operating sisterhood globally. What else? Let's see here. Despite the efforts to make Indian adoptions more transparent, the black market continues to thrive as prospective parents often find it easier to skirt the legal system and adopt directly from hospitals or orphanages, exacerbating the trade in child trafficking. Police also redeemed 140,000 rupees, just over $2,000, from the Mother Teresa Founded Center location in the eastern Indian city of Ranchi, I guess I say it, Ranchi, in the state of Jharkhand. These are some fucked up names. And are believed to be broadening their investigation. So from that article alone, it seems like a orphanage has just decided to start selling babies illegally in India.
Yep.
Who thinks that's a good idea?
I mean, the Vatican has enough money. Why don't they just take care of them?
Right?
Just saying.
Well, this is in India, for one, but yeah.
Well, they're Catholic.
Allegedly.
Connected to the Vatican.
I believe very few people are Catholic. I believe truly, I mean, I don't even think the Pope's Catholic.
What do you think he is?
Fucking just a guy.
With the nice hat?
With a fucking fancy I mean, he doesn't even wear the nice hats. He wears the regular ass hats. He wears the hats that you would think the Pope wears when he goes to bed. He don't got the gold chair no more. He got a regular wooden ass chair. He don't wear the fancy robes. I think he wore the fancy robes when he got like elected.
This is the most tame Pope we had in a while.
He's mad tame.
Yeah.
But like, I'm waiting until we get the next Pope who's just gonna go in the opposite direction. Everything's gonna be fucking gold. His fucking bubble car is gonna be gold. He's fucking gonna have gold gloves. He's gonna look like Michael Jackson. He's gonna be a Catholic like Michael Jackson. That's just wild. There was another article that we'll talk about real quick, and this one has to do with the campaign chair for Trump in Oklahoma pleads guilty to child sex trafficking. Ralph Shorty, that's his real name, a former Oklahoma state senator who last year served as Donald Trump's campaign chair in the state, was meticulous about keeping up his reputation as a pious man, according to several fellow Oklahomans. That reputation, however, has all but disappeared. According to Shorty's attorney, the former Republican lawmaker will plead guilty to one count of child sex trafficking on November 30th. Shorty, a 35-year-old married father of three, resigned from the state legislature in March after being charged with several felonies, including engaging in child prostitution, after police found him in a hotel room with a 17-year-old male. Shorty's attorney, Ed Blue, confirmed that his client will plead guilty to a charge of child sex trafficking in exchange for U.S. prosecutors dropping 3 child pornography cases against him. You know what that means. He was fucking filming the shit. Shorty feels this is a necessary step in putting this painful and humiliating ordeal behind him.
Yeah, right.
For both himself and his family for the state of Oklahoma, Blue told local news site News OK on Friday. Blau did not respond to NBC's news request for comment. While the age of consent in Oklahoma is 16, child prostitution statutes apply to anyone under 18. Shorty faces a minimum of 10 years in prison on the child sex trafficking charge.
Damn.
According to court documents, Shorty and the unnamed teen, referred to as John Doe, connected on Craigslist in or around February 2016. From then until March, the document states Shorty obtained at least one image of John Doe's penis. Then, on and around March 8th, the teen messaged Shorty saying, "I need money for spring break." The then lawmaker asked if the teen would be interested in sexual stuff. Following a tip from John Doe's father, police went looking for the teen at a Super 8 motel in Moore, Oklahoma.
Where's that
on
guy
March
from
9th.
Catch a Predator?
Right? Exactly. At a room rented with Shorty's driver's license and credit card. When the officers knocked, Shorty told them he and the teen were getting dressed. When Shorty opened the door, Doe left the room with his backpack, which contained a bottle of lotion. Ugh, that's creepy. That's just terrible. The police report stated, inside the room, more police officers found Shorty's backpack. Shorty's backpack contained an open box of condoms and a laptop computer. The report also states that Shorty was in possession of child pornography that depicts a man engaging in sexually explicit conduct with a prepubescent girl. For LGBTQ advocates in the heartland, Shorty's fall from grace exposed the family values politician as a hypocrite. Troy Stevenson, executive director of the LGBTQ organization Freedom Oklahoma, said he knew Shorty as a person who cared a great deal about maintaining his image as a good Christian lawmaker. Don't they all? Don't they all try to maintain that?
Yep.
Shit always fucking a boy in the ass.
Something.
Stevenson described one encounter with Shorty ahead of a vote on an anti-transgender bathroom bill in which the lawmaker allegedly told Stevenson that while he could not vote against the measure because it would inflame his Christian base, he would abstain. Then, not 12 hours later, he sits in the committee and voted in the bill, Stevenson lamented. This was not the first time Shorty voted against the state's LGBTQ community because of his Christian beliefs. He routinely voted with his Republican colleagues on bills targeting gay and transgender people, including a measure passed earlier this year that would allow business owners to discriminate against gay people. Okay, I'll leave that there. So essentially what we learned was that yet another Republican Christian lawmaker was caught giving it up the pooper to a boy.
Yep.
Now, it's interesting the way they phrase that because clearly it's not like this 17-year-old boy was forced into prostitution. He voluntarily did it. He wanted money for spring break. He had a sugar daddy. He hit the sugar daddy up. Sugar daddy said, sure, why not? Get that lotion ready. And that, for me, that part of it is whatever. He's 17, age of consent in Oklahoma, 17. They made that shit happen. Mm-hmm. What does bother me is the child porn he had on his computer with a prepubescent girl.
That's different.
How does one obtain that? Because I'll just make this generalization that people that are of this man's age, I'm not saying they're dumb, but I don't feel like a lot of people in lawmaking in general have the ability to go onto the dark web, like figure out how to log on to the dark web and find that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You only find it if you're looking for it.
Like you have to really. Like, I mean, I've dabbled in the dark web a bit.
I haven't.
I know when the Silk Road was out, I've gone to the Silk Road just to see how it worked.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool. And me, with my background in IT, it's not the hardest thing in the world to figure out, but you do need to know a little bit about snookering around the internet to get there, right? It's not like you just put in a website and you go there. It's not like you find a back door and you just walk in. You have to know how to connect to certain servers that will get you in to certain specific addresses that will get you to where you want to go.
I don't want to know.
Yeah. So, but like, I want to know how he got it. Did he get it from a colleague? Did he find it?
Of course he did.
Did he get it off LimeWire?
Got it from somewhere. I mean, look at Jared with Subway.
Yeah.
You know, he was connected. The guy from Seven Heaven, he was connected. It's never just one person by themselves. It's a bunch of people.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
yeah. I mean, I just hope they lock him up. And
Well, he's going to do apparently at least 10 years.
they'll have a fun time in prison.
He may not even make it out because you know what they do to people who are charged with rape in prison.
Good. That's what he gets.
Yep.
I don't have any pity for him.
Me either. I think it's interesting the way it was phrased and worded, but other than that,
Of course, they're always going to downplay it.
I don't know if they're downplaying it, but they're definitely spinning it a certain way for sure, because they're making it sound like the teen had no choice in the matter, when clearly it was the teen who kind of initiated that second part at least.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, when you're a 17-year-old boy, your hormones are all over the place. You're doing what the fuck you want. You don't care.
But see, people, you can't use that as an excuse.
Well, you're not using it as an excuse, but he's of the legal age
Because
to
it's like, okay.
consent.
So say like a guy and a girl go
He should
out,
know better. The senator should have known better.
but a guy and a girl go out drinking, right?
Yep.
Now, the guy and the girl, they're both having a good time. They're both all over each other. And they go back to whoever's apartment and they have sex.
Yep.
Technically, that's rape.
Technically, but who's raping whom?
It could be either way.
Well,
Nope.
I don't subscribe to that idea, but I know what you're saying.
Either way, legally, it could be either way.
Yeah, if one accuses the other of it, sure. Yeah.
Even though they both
Even though they both right.
consented.
It's funny because I know we both listen to Joe Rogan quite a bit, and he makes this comparison pretty often. But he's like, you're held. Why is it that when you drink, you're not able? You're held accountable if you drink too much and you drive and you hurt somebody. Even if you're under the influence and you're out of your wits, you're still held accountable. But if you're a teenage, if not even teenage, if you're just a girl or a guy and you have one too many drinks and you have sex and it's consensual, then you're not held accountable, right? If you say they raped me, I was drunk, now you're suddenly not held accountable for what happens. Yep. But if you get in a car and you kill somebody, you're held accountable no matter how much out of your mind you are.
Yep.
And I feel like that's a real interesting comparison because I don't think most people think of it that way. You tend to feel bad if somebody is drunk. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes you get wasted and you have sex with somebody you don't want to have sex with, or that you normally wouldn't have sex with, I should say. And then you feel bad about it because you're like, oh, I fucked that, right? But then you realize you get over it because it's not the end of the world. Hopefully you didn't force yourself on the person physically like that. But if two people get drunk and they decide to bang, and then in the morning they're like, well, damn, we shouldn't have done that, right? Then it's what it is. It's not rape. It's just an unfortunate situation that you have to deal with now. And I feel like that happens across the country every single day, especially with coworkers. I'm sure every Friday, people go out from work, they get fucking hammered, and then they end up banging one of their coworkers, and they wake up on Saturday, and they're like, shit. You know? Like, I should not have sucked his dick. You know? Or, man, her vagina smelled, but I did it anyways.
It's like, oh, man, I don't even know where to begin.
Isn't it wild? Like, it's crazy that we can't parse out that fact that there's always going to be a victim, no matter what. Even if the both of them...
That's because we live in a fucking victim society.
Yeah, it's the victim parade.
It's like nobody's responsible for anything that they do.
It's the oppression Olympics.
They're putting the blame. I'm speaking in general right now.
Yeah.
They put the blame on everybody else.
Yeah.
I failed. Why did you fail? Oh, the system.
The system failed.
It was too hard.
Yeah.
It's white people. It's black people. It's Mexicans. It's like, no, maybe you just didn't fucking work hard enough. Why are you being a bitch?
Exactly. And I want to pull something up real quick because you make a good point. And I didn't realize how sensitive your fucking mouse is.
I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
What browser do you normally use? Firefox?
Firefox.
Okay, because you have Safari open there too.
That's backup.
Okay. I actually started using Safari as my main browser now.
Fuck
It's
Safari.
not too bad.
Firefox all day.
So I saw this article today, and I think it reminds me of, like, society's too hard or whatever. This whole idea of inclusion, and it goes diversify the lens, the importance of hiring women photographers.
Okay. Sounds sexist.
And it does. And I was talking to my manager actually at work, and I was showing him that. He goes, he's a very educated individual. He's an older gentleman, but very smart. And he was like, he says what bothers him more about this kind of thing is that you can replace the importance of hiring women with almost anything else. The importance of hiring black women, the importance of hiring black men, the importance of hiring Latino or Latinx, whatever you want to call that now, photographers. But everybody's putting the emphasis on women. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And he's like, it's important to diversify the field, of course, because people of all backgrounds have talent.
Yep.
But you should also be looking not just to bring people in if they're mediocre just because they're of a certain race, but because they have talent. And he was like, we're in a society now that values talentless people because it makes other people feel good.
I'm tired of that shit.
It's crazy. It's insane for me because, and I deal with it on a daily basis. And I don't mean this to be mean, but, like, I deal with a lot of people who are amateurs and who are enthusiasts. And, I see them book jobs because they're of a certain orientation, of a certain race. And they're like, yeah, they said they needed, let's say a black person's perspective or an Asian person's perspective. And I look at their work. And, sometimes you look at it and you're like, sometimes you're surprised. Sometimes I'm like, wow, this is actually fucking really good, and that bears no meaning on them, like, as their race. Yeah. But sometimes you see it and you're like, wow, your work's fucking straight trash. And I don't say that. I just go, wow. I just hit him with the wow.
I mean, I've seen it for decades, and it's frustrating. And it's one of the reasons why I continue to work hard and to continue to improve myself, because I know, like, the 75% of the people out there suck.
Yep.
They're out there and they got a job because of who they knew or their affiliation or family or the school they went to, but they're not good.
Right.
Like, they're not good. Like, I me, I'm in the visual arts, art and design, illustration, and I come across so many people who be like, oh, I graduated from here. I'm like...
How many people do you encounter that graduated from SVA and think that's a big deal?
Oh, shit ton. But the thing is, here's the thing, it's like a lot of them, and I mean a lot of people I come across like that suck.
Yeah, I agree.
Straight up suck. They either... And when I really get to the core of, like, why are they here in New York, or their personal life is like, oh yeah, they come from money, or they living with somebody, and it's like, the people that are really working and really doing this art shit, we're fucking grinding, man, all day.
Yep, that's right.
And I have no sympathy for people like that. I'm like, I hate when people say, like, oh, you're a black artist. I'm not a black artist. I'm an artist, motherfucker.
Right.
Like, don't put me in a category like that.
Admittedly, I've never had to deal with anything like that because even though I'm Hispanic, I look straight up fucking white as shit. I look Jewish. I look Italian. I look everything except Hispanic, apparently. Yeah. But I've never had to deal with that. But I could see why that would annoy a lot of people. Like,
fucking
look,
piss me
look,
off.
he's a great black photographer. No, he's a
No.
great photographer.
Yeah, man.
You look at somebody like Gordon Parks. You don't say he's a great black photographer. No, he's a great photographer. You could say that in the spectrum of all the black photographers, he's maybe the most notable. But overall, he's one of the best photographers ever. He's one of the most artistic people ever. And it's that kind of shit that I think causes more of a problem than it does addressing. Like, look at this article right here. I'll read you a quick snippet. Women photographers are still, and this article is called "Diversify the Lens." It's on Petapixel. It was published today on July 12th, 2018. And the middle section here goes, women photographers are grossly underrepresented when it comes time to hire for big advertising campaigns and magazine covers, despite the fact that women account for roughly 50% of photographers and advertising industry workers, 80% of art and photography school graduates, the majority of art buyers and photo editors. One report indicates that male photographers account for as high as 96% of advertising photographers. With a quick glance at the top photography representation agencies in the United States, it's clear that women comprise only about 10% of those agency rosters. So even though women make up a large majority of this artistic field of photography, only 10% of them are actually getting these jobs booking for big clients.
But see, that doesn't even make sense to me because look at the article. It says roughly 50% of photographers and advertising industry workers are women.
Yep.
That's half.
Half.
Are women.
Which is great because it's diversified.
Yes. Then again, it says 80% of art and photography school graduates are women. That's a humongous chunk.
That's humongous.
One more thing. The majority of art buyers and photo editors are women. Is that not that, like, to me, it seems like
they run that shit.
They're doing pretty damn good.
What's interesting is that if you ever listen to a famous or very well-known photojournalist, half the time their editors are women.
So what is this article really saying?
That they need more women doing the photography. So it seems like women are running the business aspect, but they're not enough. There's only 10% of women actually taking the photos.
So there's 80% of art and photography school graduates are women.
Yep.
So where are they going after they graduate?
They're getting jobs as buyers, photo editors, and
but they're not getting jobs as photographers?
As photographers.
Whose fault is that?
Exactly.
If the majority of art buyers and photo editors are women, women aren't hiring women. That's what this article is saying.
Yep.
From the numbers.
Absolutely.
Women are not
hiring women.
That's stupid.
But it's true.
but it's
it's
like,
not our fault.
It's that's what I have with it. It's like hire a female photographer, diversify the lens. It's like no, change the shit. Women need to hire women.
Exactly.
It's like oh man,
it's insane. I don't.
That's why I say feminism is bullshit.
It's insane. I don't get it. I mean, and I know a lot of really talented photographers who are women, a lot. And you know what? Even though, and I don't know what it is, and I've never made it to the highest levels of photography, so I can't tell you. I can only tell you as an outside observer, as somebody who's been around the photography business in a professional capacity for about 10 years, and somebody who's been following the photography world since I was, how old are you when you go to high school? 14, 13? Yeah. Since then, to get to the very highest levels of photography takes more than just being a good photographer. Takes more than just, you have to have a business acumen. You have to have a personality. You have to schmooze. Mm-hmm. Am I saying that women are incapable of doing that? No. What I am saying is that it seems like men are more apt to have that kind of personality that would get them further in this kind of business. Is that full of shit? Maybe. But it's not that women don't have the talent. There are plenty of talented female photographers out there. Plenty. And Leibovitz, she may be the best one. And, I mean, she shines the brightest. I don't think there's ever been a female photographer or a female artist, really, that's gotten the kind of notoriety she's gotten.
I don't know.
And she's lesbian. So not only is she a woman, she's a gay woman. So that ticks a lot of boxes. All that'd be left if she was black and had cats. If she was black and had cats, nobody could say a goddamn thing to her. The IRS would never be able to collect their money. But it's things like this that bothered me. Like when I saw it, I read the article at work, and I'm like, this makes no sense. You just told me in 3 bullet points that women are making up more than 50% of the workforce in this photography community, but only 10% of them are actually taking the photos. Didn't you stop to think that maybe those 10% are the ones that actually wanted to do the photos that bad, and the rest of them realize, hey, I can make decent money being on the other end of this, doing the directing, the art directing, the editing, and I don't have to worry about busting my ass every single day trying to get a new client.
This is a bullshit article.
Welcome to the world of photography, John Smalls.
I didn't even read it. I'm like, your numbers make no sense.
They don't. You're speaking against yourself. And I get what they're trying to say. Let's hire more women to take the photos.
But we can do more.
Yeah.
Like, what?
That's right. Right before that, before I read the bullet points, there's another little section. And it says, actions such as the 3% movement, 50-50 initiative, and hashtag Time's Up advertising have thrust these issues into the spotlight and gained significant attention and traction. But we can do more. And then below that, there's a call to action. There is a huge population of highly talented, underutilized female photographers who are ready to put their unique vision to work. It's time we create policies at both the brand and agency level to ensure they are given the opportunity to do so. Introducing Diversify the Lens hashtag. Hire female photographers, diversify the lens. This movement is a specific request for agencies and other media to include at least one female photographer in each triple bid, or make female and non-white options at least 50% of the consideration when selecting image makers. Doing so will not only help level the very uneven playing field for women photographers, but it will also benefit business across the board. Okay, so what that tells me is that you want a private industry to self-regulate that half of the people who apply for a triple bid campaign have to be women or some kind of minority. First off, what if there are not enough people to make that number? Mm-hmm. What if the people who make that 50% are straight garbage and don't even deserve? Like if you put Alex Lubinensky, who's a very well-known fashion photographer and editorial photographer, mm-hmm. who shoots for Harper's Bazaar, who shoots for all these big magazines, and you put him next to me, I have no business being in the same conversation as somebody who's up for a job at that level. And for me to be based on that solely because I'm Hispanic is insulting to me. I never want to be considered for a job solely based on that you need to bring up your numbers of equality.
Same here.
I want my work to speak for itself and be like, I need that guy to shoot this. I need this guy to shoot this. I need this woman to shoot this. I need this woman to shoot because their photos say that. I don't want my heritage to be a determining factor in whether or not my work is good. You know, my work has to be good on its own. You have to be able to look at my work or anybody's work and not care what they look like.
It's just another way of affirmative action.
Absolutely. And, I mean, this is just an article in Petapic, so I doubt this is going to get any actual movement other than some liberals who think they're doing something good by sharing it on Facebook. But it's ridiculous. If you want to be a good photographer or good at anything you do in life, you have to work at it. And you have to work at it. And I don't even know who said this, but you have to be so good that they can't deny you. You have to be that good. And it's, I'll be honest, not everybody's going to make it. You can try your ass off and and be great and still never make it.
When I step into a job, I step into every single job knowing that I'm the best artist there.
Absolutely.
Period. I'm like, even if I happen to know another artist in the same company or same environment, I'm like, whatever they're doing, I got to do better.
Yeah.
But I know, like, as soon as I take a job, I'm the best artist there. I'm not the best artist, the best black artist, the best tall artist. I'm the best artist. Period.
Right. And if you go into if you don't recognize, like, you have to have that balance of confidence and the ability to realize, like when I see another photographer, like I had a customer not too long ago, last week or 2 weeks ago. Guy was maybe 23, 24, and he doesn't know much about lights. He like rents lights every now and then. And he showed me his work, and his work was amazing. His work, without knowing any of the pure technical, like he just knows what he's trying to do, and he futzes with it until he gets it. But his work was so like fashion magazine level good. And I didn't hate the guy. I was like, yo, that's phenomenal. It's great.
Yeah.
And what that did to me was like, man, if this kid's 23, doesn't know about the technical aspects of lighting, but he's achieving these images, there's no reason why I can't work harder and get there. Might take me longer. I might have struggled. Maybe my problem isn't the technicality. Maybe it's just the creativity part I need to work on. But, like, you have to be able to recognize when you go for a job, you have to have the confidence. It's my job. I'm the best. That's the reason why I'm here. Yeah. But also you have to be able to recognize maybe I'm not working hard enough. Maybe I can do better. Maybe I can't get lazy. You always have to be trying to get that next level up to make your work good.
It's like people want to complain about shit. They want to say like, oh, okay, we should have this, we should have that. And this is the same thing I have a problem with when people protest. You know, I'm like, stop fucking asking for shit. Go out and create your own. Like you said, be so good they cannot deny you. But to sit here and create like another hashtag or create like another movement that's really not going to do anything or go anywhere, it's nonsense. It's like if you want to be a great photographer and you want to get those jobs, then go out and work on your portfolio. How many times in the last 3 years have I bothered you and nagged you to look at my portfolio?
Yeah.
Because I'm constantly working on my portfolio. Because I'm constantly...
Your new site looks good, by the way.
Huh?
Your new site looks good.
Thank you. And like I'm always trying to polish it. It's like I know I'm good. I just gotta market it. I gotta put it out there, and I gotta keep applying and keep applying and keep applying. Mm-hmm. It's like, and people, oh yeah, I could be like, oh well, yeah, there's not enough men in the design industry, which there isn't. Fuck it.
You know what? There's not a whole lot of men in the nursing industry, but you don't hear men complaining about it. More male nurses. You never hear that. You never see hashtag more male nurses. What was that?
I don't know.
Cat just break something?
Probably.
Yeah, that's weird. But you know, it's such a weird cultural thing that's going on, you know? And I'm not really sure where, I mean, I know where it's coming from or why it's the way it is, but like it's super strange that I don't think, you know, I don't know, it's weird. As a man and as a photographer, I find it strange when and it's going to sound terrible, but I kind of feel a little bit attacked. But it's like, you know what?
Oh no, we can't say that.
No?
No.
Why not?
Because the world doesn't want us to feel attacked.
What is that? The heat? What is that?
She has a step ladder.
Oh. I'm like, what the fuck is that noise? It's too hot for the heat to be coming on.
The little lady is home.
Oh, I didn't even hear her come in.
Yeah, that was what the noise was.
Oh, that was sneaky. I don't know. I don't want to say I feel attacked, but it's just weird. I don't know. I just feel like your work needs to stand out.
We are, but we are. I'm poking fun, but we are being attacked.
Yeah. I feel like I'm being attacked, but not really. You know what I mean? I feel like
I don't say shit.
I feel like I shouldn't say anything about it, but I feel like I also should.
I want here's my thing. I could be upset about a lot of stuff every single day.
Yeah,
right.
But you choose not to.
I choose to act. I'm like,
yeah,
you can sit here and have your protests about art and want to be in the industry, want to be included. Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna be working.
Yeah. No, I share that same sentiment. I feel like people who complain, I'm like, first off, if you know me, you know I don't like complainers.
My portfolio is going to continue to grow and get bigger. Mm-hmm. Right, you're wasting time protesting.
Yeah, when you're over here talking about it's not fair, I don't get to work, my work's not good, well then get to work. I don't know what to tell you. Like I see it all the time with people I deal with on a daily basis. They're like, my work is boring. I'm like, work harder. I don't have enough money. Work harder.
Yep.
I don't know. My life feels stale. Work harder.
It's like the one thing I always love about the internet, and it's always fueled me ever since I started getting on the internet, right? Ever since I started just building websites and just exploring the internet. It's like you don't need someone else's approval.
No.
You could I continue to find business on the web, and I've done business over the years with people I don't even know. Like I've never met them. We've only exchanged emails. They're steady clients for years, and I'm like, it's amazing. I don't need even though yes, I want big corporate jobs and I want big corporate checks. More importantly, but every time I get a job like that, I'm like, wow, this person found me because they saw something I did. Mm-hmm. Right? It's a great feeling.
It is a great feeling.
Right? It's not the companies that I want calling me up, but at the same time, it's like this person in Costa Rica or this person in England or Brazil. They're like, yo, I want to work with you. And I'm like, yeah, because they saw my work. Exactly. Not because they saw me protesting or doing a hack or Twitter. Nobody ever. Yeah. No, I've never gotten work off of Twitter. Ever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Either, yeah.
It's like
I've gotten some work off Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, MySpace. Yeah, I've gotten work off those three.
MySpace. You went back.
I'm older.
Oh shit.
But I've gotten work off those websites, and yeah, like we're saying, man, it's like I understand where some people are coming from. They feel that it's hard, but you know what? It's not supposed to be easy.
If it was easy, everybody would do it.
It's not supposed to be easy.
This episode's full of cliches.
But it's true.
Yep. No, I agree. And I find it very strange when I hear people complain. I'm like, just work harder. And they look, and I'm not, and I don't mean to boast or sound like I'm boasting, but I do photos of, like, I do portraits of people, and people who are photographers are like, wow, I can't, that looks amazing, you know? And it's funny because one person will see my work who's not very, I would say, who's decent at photography, and they'll be like, wow, your work's so good, you have so much talent. And then somebody like our friend Rick, who's been doing it for forever, looks at me and goes, it's good. And he can see the difference.
He's a vet.
Yeah, he knows. He knows. He can look at it and be like, that's a good shot. It can be better, but it's good. Keep going.
Yeah.
Whereas somebody who doesn't have that experience, who doesn't work that hard, will look at it and be like, wow, that's like a weekend warrior photographer. Be like, wow, that's so good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and me, myself, I feel weird telling them to shut up, but I'm just like, oh, thanks, you know. But I know that there's another level that I have to get to.
Their opinion doesn't carry as much weight.
No. When somebody like Rick tells me, yo, that's a good picture. Like, I took a photo a couple years ago when Phil got his black belt. The photo I took of Phil getting promoted, and his brown belt was on the floor, and it had like a leading line up to Phil.
Oh.
Well, you ever saw that photo?
I don't think so.
I'll show it to you after the podcast.
I saw a speech.
Yeah, I'll show you the photo. I think I have it somewhere on my phone. It's on Facebook for sure. But, you know, I posted that photo, and Rick was there shooting the thing too.
Yeah.
And when Rick saw it, he's like, that's an amazing photo. He's like, I don't know how you got that, but that is a memorable photo.
Okay.
And when he said that to me, I was like, my whole body went into convulsions because, I mean, yeah, he's also kind of a mentor to me in the photography aspect, but knowing that he's been in that world forever, and he can look at a good photo. When he saw my photo and said that, I was just like, I didn't even care. I didn't get anything in that promotion.
He's like, that's a masterpiece.
That's a good photo.
Yeah.
And it's a photo that captures a very special moment in a fraction of a second that tells the entire story of that person getting to that moment. And I don't know. It's like, I'm sure like if Picasso was around and he saw one of your paintings and he remarked on it, you'd probably pass out. Like if Picasso was around and saw your stuff, he'd be like, it's a good photo. Like, that's a good painting. You'd probably be like, blah, blah, thank you, blah. You know, it's just one of those things. Like, I don't know. Like I can't even think of another equivocation. Winning an Oscar, having your peers as an actor be like, yeah, he's the best. Or people like telling like other players be like, yeah, Michael Jordan's the best. Absolutely, hands down, without a doubt, he's the best. Like, how did that feeling is momentary, but it carries a lot of weight, and it has the ability to either break you if they tell you something terrible, or push you to another level if they tell you something positive. Heck, even if they tell you something negative, that may even push you forward, you know, depending on your personality type.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a humdinger. Anything else you'd like to add? Anything? You look like you're deep in thought.
I am.
This article got you a little worked up. It got me a little worked up.
I'm just thinking about art. You know.
Yeah.
Thinking about.
Me too. I've been thinking about my work a lot lately.
Like, yeah, man. Just, I hate everything that I do, but I keep doing it because I feel like out of every 50 paintings, one is going to be a great one.
It's just a numbers game.
Just got to keep painting.
Keep working.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, I like all my photos for about 5 minutes, and then when I'm done, I'm like, it could be better. I'll be on to the next one.
Like, I'm not happy with this. I'm looking at a portrait that I'm doing of Gomez, but it's almost there.
Yeah.
Can't show it.
No, I can't show it yet. Damn.
Yeah, show it. I don't care.
Oh, damn. I closed my camera.
Not good.
Hold on. Shit.
But, you know, when I'm done, I'll give it to you, and you'll be like, yo, it'll look great. Right now, it just looks like it's in the middle stages.
Yeah, but that's awesome.
Just working it out, you know.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us in episode number 27. We're closing in on our 1-year anniversary. Maybe we'll do a live show somewhere, maybe in a bar. Spark says hello. Uh-oh. Say hi. Say hi, Cat. Say hi.
Now she has nothing.
Now she got nothing to say. Gangster Cat. As always, we would appreciate any comments that you would like to leave us. Send us an email, chicoandthegrin@gmail.com. Ratings and comments and reviews on iTunes and Google Play are the best way to help this podcast grow. If you like what you hear, it's ad-free content. It is straight from the soul, just two dudes in an art studio going back and forth, talking about stuff, how we think. It's not always the most popular thing to do, but somebody's got to do it, and why not do that while we talk about our favorite thing, which is art and the world. Yeah, I mean, follow us on Instagram, Chico and the Grin, Twitter, Chico and the Grin, Facebook, Chico and the Grin.
Facebook sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Instagram.
Instagram is where it's at. Also, if you want to follow us on our personal pages, you're more than welcome to that too. You can follow John at.
Art by Smalls. So just go to my website, johnsmalls.com.
And you can follow me on Instagram as well, _ Steven Gomez, Steven with a PH, or my website, sgomezphoto.com, and I have a blog there.
Why isn't your Instagram sgomezphoto?
I should probably change it, but I liked having my whole name. I may do a second Instagram with just sgomezphoto to link that back. But I don't know. I feel like I've put so much work into my Instagram that it'd be like a shame to throw it out the window.
Start a new one.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll change the name. But yeah, thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Follow us on those social media platforms. Interact with us. Email us. We want to hear from you. And we hope everything is good with you guys.
Oh, we're going on a nacho crawl soon.
Yes, nachos. If you listen to the last episode. Oh, we didn't talk about Juan P. We got to get touched that before we go. Okay. Let's talk about Juan P. Go.
What do you want me to do?
So, if you're a follower of the podcast, you may have noticed that there was a mini episode between episode 26 and this episode, and it was a Juan P episode. And for those of you who have been following us since the very beginning, or at least been following John since the very beginning, you know he had a podcast called Juan P.
Juan P Investigative Reports. It was about bringing you news and information and stories that they don't normally want you to know. They being the people unknown.
Being the white man.
No, not white man. Just people.
Just man?
Just man, you know, because I'll talk about everybody. But Juan P, in a quick, short elevator pitch, it's fun audio entertainment. And there's a new category I found on iTunes podcast that I have to change it to. Because I was listening to some audio, like audio theater.
Yeah.
Performing arts. That's what it is.
Okay.
So it's a different podcast. It's more like
it's part of the Chico and the Grin.
It's part of Chico and the Grin
umbrella.
Yeah, it's definitely
but it's its own separate entity.
It's a quick, short, 10, 15-minute audio clips packed with sound effects and audio entertainment that I'm just going to keep building on and just experimenting with. But it's a fun little show. It's going to be in between every couple episodes of the Chico and the Grin podcast, and listen to it. Let me know if you like it. Let me know if you have any suggestions. And it's basically just me having fun with sound effects.
There you go.
You know,
there's your elevator pitch, ladies and gentlemen. Go listen to it. Go let us know what you think. We want to hear from you. So, signing off from Harlem, New York City. This is Chico and the Grin, episode number 27.
Peace.
Shaka Zulu.